Hi, sugar friends. I'm Precious of Baked by Precious, and welcome back to Crave Worthy Cookies. In this module, we are going to make chocolate chip cookies, but we're going to do them bakery style. So, bakery style, they're usually a little bit bigger, they have more quality ingredients. The chocolate is more melty and gooey. So, I'm going to show you how to achieve that with your at home ingredients. Let's get started. In our bowl, we're going to need 1 stick of room temperature butter. I have it in my pocket to warm it up. Just a half a cup unsalted, 1/2 cup of light brown sugar packed, 2 tablespoons of white sugar. And we're going to use our hand mixer and cream these two together. If I can get it in there. There we go. We're going to gently cream these together until they're light and fluffy before we add in our other ingredients. My butter was still a little cold because it's chilly here today, so I had it in my pocket to warm it up. But it's still a little cold. You can see as the butter and sugar is kind of crumbling, but as you mix, it'll come together. Just make sure it's cream and nice and fluffy. You can also use your stand mixer for this, but I find the hand mixer is most convenient, especially if you don't have a stand mixer. To know that you can make bakery style cookies with a hand mixer. And if you want, if you don't have a hand mixer, you can melt the butter in the microwave until it's melted, let it cool, and then add your sugars, and you can mix it with a spatula, but you'll have to chill your dough before you bake it. We're not going to chill this dough. It's coming together nicely. To that, we're going to add 2 large egg yolks, just the yolks, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, give or take. I never measure it. And cream that together. Once that's together, we're going to add our dry ingredients. I'm just going to scrape these down just a little bit to make sure everything is incorporated. I'm going to mix this a little bit longer. I still see a little bit of butter, and I want that all to be well combined. Looking good. All right, to that, we're going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour that's pre-sifted and 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. For this part, I'm going to use my spatula so that we don't over mix it. So I'm just going to get the excess out of the beater here. And we're going to mix it by hand. That way we can kind of get a good feel for our dough, make sure we don't do too much to it. An overworked dough makes a tough cookie. We don't want tough cookies. Okay. Put that off to the side. And we're going to gently fold in our flour just until we see a few streaks left. really get in there. Make sure it incorporates into the cookie dough like that. Okay. It's a little crumbly. We still see some flour. So now we're going to add in our chocolate chips. We're going to do about a half a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm not going to measure them because I don't think you can have too many chocolate chips, but if you want to be precise, about a half cup. Okay. And we're going to gently fold that in, making sure not to overmix because we have one more chocolate to add to it. So we don't want to fully combine it yet. Not quite yet. There we go, throwing things at you again. And we're going to make these bakery style by adding baker's chocolate. So it's a chocolate bar. We're using semi-sweet. And we're going to chop this up and add this to our batter. So with chocolate chips, they're formulated to not melt when you put them in the oven. Baking chocolate is going to melt. So that's going to give you those nice gooey pulls of chocolate that you see when you're getting a chocolate chip cookie from an artisan bakery. So we're going to take the full bar and we're just going to chop up about a third of it. And we're going to add a third of that to our dough. We want some big chunks and some small chunks so that it's very well incorporated throughout our cookie. And we're going to add a little on top before it bakes. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, we're going to add that to our cookie dough. Just toss that right in. And combine that until the dough is fully incorporated. And you still don't want to overdo it. So if you see a little bit of flour when you're done, that's okay. It'll all come together while it bakes. Just want to make sure we give it a good mix. Okay. And I'm going to bring you in so you can see what our dough looks like before we scoop it and roll it. The dough is well combined. There's still a few streaks of flour, but you can see our baking chocolate and our chocolate chips. Everything is nice and meshed together. We're going to roll these out and bake them. We want these to be a little bit on the bigger side so that they match that bakery feeling. So I'm using my large cookie scoop. It's about 4 tablespoons. And I'm just going to take a good scoop, level it off, and place it on the cookie sheet. And we're going to do these about 2 inches apart so they have room to spread. They're going to get very big in the oven. So I'm probably only going to put 5 on this tray. And I'm flipping them so that the side with the most chocolate chips is facing upwards. So that way when it comes out of the oven, you'll see the chocolate melting and pooling on top. We want that to be the main feature of the cookie. That's going to differentiate it from a homemade chocolate chip cookie to a bakery style chocolate chip cookie, even though they're all made at home. We're going for the look as well as the flavor, so we'll put their best face forward. We're going to take a few pieces of our chocolate that we had on reserve, the baker's chocolate, and we're just going to place one right on top. And that's going to be our nice puddle of chocolate that you see once they come out of the oven. These are going to be super chocolatey. Okay, we're going to bake these at 350 for 10 minutes and then we'll check them afterwards. Okay, be right back. Our bakery style chocolate chip cookies are out of the oven. Beautiful warm puddles of chocolate chips. While they're still warm, we're going to do our little cookie scoop trick. So we're going to take something bigger in diameter than the cookie Place it directly over and move in a circle. That's going to give us that nice circular shape, and that's just going to further tie in that bakery style effect that we're going for with these. So just go right over the cookie, small circular motions. A lot of people aren't even sure this works because it happens so quickly and you're like, wait, what? But you can tell in the final result, it's very circular. And it's like they didn't come out that circular. You did that yourself. Okay. All right, and now we're gonna take just a little bit of coarse sea salt. The sea salt is gonna bring out the sweetness in the chocolate, and just sprinkle it on top while it's warm. Good, just a little bit, like the tiniest amount of sea salt. Now we're gonna let these cool on the tray for about 10 more minutes before we transfer it to the wire rack to finish cooling. Be right back. Bakery style chocolate chip cookies have finished cooling on the tray. Now we're going to transfer them to our wire rack to finish cooling for about 5 more minutes. The edges are nice and golden brown and crispy, and the center is still chewy. The chocolate is still a puddle right in the middle. The exact look that we were going for. I'm going to bring you in closer so you can see what I was talking about. They smell heavenly. The chocolate puddles, the sea salt flakes, the crispy edges. They look just like something you'd get out of a gourmet bakery. I'm ready to try one of these bakery style chocolate chip cookies. Let's crack one open. There she is. So beautiful. Perfect texture inside, crispy outside. Now that is a chocolate chip cookie. Warm, gooey center. Tons of chocolate in every bite. I'm going to have to show you this up close. Thanks for watching.